I'm Bill Anderson. I'm the Executive Director of MeckEd, and I encourage you to start eating your salads at this time if you already haven't. Unfortunately, we had some traffic issues today. Speed Street has not been good to us, so that's why we started about 5 minutes late, but we're going to begin at this time. At this time, I'm going to introduce someone very important to all of us, and that is our Superintendent, Ann Clark. And before Ann comes up, I would just like to say that my relationship with Ann goes back 20 plus years. I was an assistant principal at Alexander Graham Middle School when she was named our principal in her first principalship. I remember the first day that Ann walked through the doors. After Ann's second year at AG, she was named local principal of the year. Then she was named state principal of the year. And then she became our national principal of the year. And while her record is stellar, what most people don't know about Ann is her extreme advocacy for children. When Ann was at AG, she had a brood of young kids that were basically her kids, and she still stays in touch with many of them today. So please give a very warm welcome to Superintendent Ann Clark.
Well, good evening. I am absolutely delighted to be here, and I can already say that having only been in the Hilton for 15 minutes, I think I'm well on my way to recruiting a teacher from Atlanta just with a conversation that I had at my table. So it seems fitting as we are here to honor some of our most extraordinary teachers that I take just a minute to officially invite everyone in this room to become a part of Team CMS's recruiting team. What I just said at my table is that I bet everybody in this room knows a teacher who teaches somewhere else other than Mecklenburg County. And if everyone in this room made a contact with that teacher, invited them to think about Charlotte and all that we have to offer as a great city, a great county, and a great region, we would be well on our way to a game-changing year in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. So I'm going to officially invite each of you to become a part of the Human Resources team for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, because what's going to happen tonight that happens every time we have this amazing event is that you're going to leave here inspired by the stories and the impact of these MeckEd Teachers of Excellence. And so as your superintendent, we want that for every kid in our district, regardless of where they go to school, in which part of the county, north, south, east, or west. We want all of our students to experience the greatness that you're going to see highlighted here tonight. So I'm going to invite you to think about where you have influence and know great teachers. I did this at a Classroom Central event 4 weeks ago, and it yielded 2 teachers within 24 hours. So I know this works, and I know everyone in here knows a teacher. The next part of your assignment, and you didn't know you were coming here to get homework assignments, but after all, this is school. I want to ask you to really think about the tape that runs in your head when a young person, be your son or daughter, grandchild, niece or nephew, godchild, next door neighbor's child, work colleague's child, when you hear that child say, "I want to be a teacher." I want you to think about what plays in your head. And does it go something like this? And I'm going to pretend Bill is that child talking to me, the adult. I'm going to say, "Bill, do you really want to be a teacher? Are you sure you want to be a teacher? Do you know if you were a biology major, you could get 5 times as much as you could get as a teacher? Are you reading the headlines? Do you really want to be a teacher?" If we're really honest, that unfortunately is the script that runs in the heads of many adults, not just here in Charlotte, but across our country. And so, again, we have many MeckEd Teachers of Excellence in this room, past winners and our current honorees tonight. They are strategically placed throughout this room at various tables, and I invite you to be inspired and to hear their stories about why they do what they do every day. Because I think we often get caught up in what we do every day, and we fail to think about why it is we're called to this amazing profession of teaching and educating. And that's a challenge that I'm going to be issuing to all of our CMS employees. They too are a part of the HR recruiting team for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. So I invite you to do 2 things. Refer an amazing teacher out there that you know about to me directly, and I'll take ownership for shepherding them through the process with our HR team. And I want you to think about rewriting the script in your head when a young person says they're interested in becoming a teacher. There are children in this community that want to be teachers. Some of them are like me, that grew up in a household where I was affirmed every day about the choice to be a teacher. And there are other folks that have an amazing gift of working with our children that are going to need a nudge and encouragement from folks like the people in this room that I know, based on knowing so many people in this room, believe deeply in public education. So again, refer me a teacher and encourage our future teachers. That is the way, that is our only pathway to greatness as a school district, to greatness as a community, and to the many conversations we're having in this community about educational equity and the need to think about thoughtfully our place in this nation as it relates to the failure of our students of poverty to come out of poverty. And we know that the teachers of excellence and the other thousands of teachers in this district are absolutely that ticket for the children of this community. So thank you for gathering tonight as we honor the most important employees in our district that touch our students every day. The rest of us who are employed in CMS are in service to our teachers and principals and the work that happens in the schoolhouse. Let me be the first among many tonight to congratulate our MeckEd Teachers of Excellence, both those from the past that are here again to be re-honored and those that are being honored for the first time. You are the wind beneath our wings and important to our kids in this community, so thank you.
Thank you, Ann. We appreciate your leadership. At this time, I would like to ask Board Member Marin Bengal to come forward. Marin?
Well, always a pleasure to follow Ann Clark. She is the essence of Teacher of Excellence because she gets the essence of what excellence is, and she gets the essence of what it takes to bring excellence out of each person. So she has been more than remarkable in her years of leadership here, and we are so grateful and honored to have her here tonight to kick off this event. Thank you, Ann. Good evening. My name is Marin Bengal. I am a proud parent of CMS children and a member of the MeckEd Board of Directors, and I'm so pleased to bring you greetings from the board and welcome you tonight. MeckEd is a leading voice on public education issues in Mecklenburg County. We educate, we engage, we impact our community as we strive for strong public schools for all children. For those of you who are on social media, so we always invite you to turn off your phones, but I'm going to invite you to turn on your phone for just a moment and like us on Facebook, MeckEd, and also follow us at MeckEd on Twitter because we'd like to keep you posted on happenings as they come about, and we would like to have you attend events and be able to be part of our grassroots efforts and others to push forward public education as we know it can serve all of us to be a stronger community. I'd like to ask the members of the MeckEd board to stand and thank them for volunteering their time and their talent, their expertise, and their support in pursuit of that goal. So thank you. I would also like to recognize any elected officials who are with us this evening. I saw Chairwoman McCray. I can't see well from up here, but please others stand as well that are here with us, and we're grateful for your service and we're grateful for your leadership. As a nonprofit, MeckEd relies on donations from businesses, foundations, individuals to sustain critical programming for our community. So I'd like to thank now our achievement sponsors, Allen Tate Companies, American Airlines, Bank of America, LEC Media, Navant Health, Snyder's Lance, Wells Fargo, and the YMCA of Greater Charlotte. Thank you to our educator sponsors, Piedmont Natural Gas and TIAA CREF. And thank you to our advocate sponsors, AI Design Group, the Charlotte Chamber, Grant Thornton, Leading Beyond, Livingston and Haven, Merrill Lynch, Northeastern University Charlotte, PwC, and Weyerhaeuser. In addition to our generous event sponsors, I want to take a moment to thank organizations listed on the screen for their ongoing support of MeckEd's program of work and operations. We really simply could not exist without the generous support of all of these folks, so thank you. And finally, thank you to these individuals and organizations for supporting tonight's special drawings, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. At this time, I'm going to invite you to take a few minutes to enjoy your dinner, but I want to say one quick word. When Superintendent Clark and others come here and talk about public education, I too am a product of public education, North Carolina, both at all elementary levels through college. I would say that many of you are either products of public education, and if you're a public education North Carolina person, I'd love for you to raise your hand and see that vote of support. Thank you for all you've done. I thought about it last night, and I thought every single one of us can name our teachers, and we can do it as quickly as possible. Mrs. Marley, Mrs. Richardson, Mrs. Widenhouse, Mrs. White, Mrs. Huffman, Mr. Baker, Mrs. Ingram, Mr. Ingram, Coach Parsons, Coach Engelbert, Coach Kilby, Coach Spears, Mr. Irwin, Dr. Irwin, Professor Irwin, Mr. Brooks, Mr. Marie, Mr. Clark, Mrs. McGrady, Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Manilovich, and Mr. Weaver. And to all of them, I stand here today and say thank you. As you talk among yourselves, I hope you'll recognize a favorite teacher in your life and what they meant to your growth and development, and why that excellence has brought excellence on to you tonight. Thank you.
When I was a high school principal, the most important thing that I ever did was to hire a good teacher, but the second most important thing I ever did was to hang on to a great teacher. Recruiting and retaining teachers is the #1 most important thing that our principals faced. There's no in-school factor more important than having a great instructor at the front of the room taking care of their children. And as our General Assembly works to tackle critical issues around education and funding, and our county commissioners at this time start weighing the requests from our superintendent for the budget, MeckEd continues to be a champion for all of our educators. But we're here tonight for 3 reasons. We're here to recognize 20 great teachers. We're here to celebrate their success. And there are many gifts that are going to be given out tonight, so there'll be a lot of celebrating going on. And we're here to also follow up on what Ann Clark said, and that is to increase awareness and also have many of you leave here today being advocates. We know how important it is to value our teachers and also to value the profession of teaching, and that's why MeckEd hosts this event every year. But another critical component of MeckEd's programming is a program called the Career Pathways Program, which connects high school students to work-based learning opportunities through internships and apprenticeships. At this time, I'd like to welcome one of our board members, Eric Leoy, to the podium to share why the Career Pathways Program is so important. Eric?
Thank you, Bill, and thank you everybody for being here today. It's really my pleasure to be here and just have a moment or two to talk and then let you hear from the students themselves. As Bill mentioned, Careers Pathways is a direct student program, services program that exposes students to work-based learning objectives and opportunities such as internships, job shadowing, and workshops. We have Career Pathways advisors who work with CMS students every day in Garinger, Harding, Independence, and Vance high schools. Too many students have a hard time connecting work that they do in the classroom every day to the jobs and opportunities in the workplace when they graduate. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, only 60% of recent high school graduates go on to a four-year degree. And of those students, 59% actually graduate within 6 years. Furthermore, research affirms that work-based learning is the best way for students to prepare for the workplace, learning both the hard and soft skills in the real-world context. MeckEd has responded to this community need and works on engaging our young people, opening their eyes and mapping out individual career pathways that will yield success for the student and for the economy at large. This school year, MeckEd's career pathways have served more than 1,500 students with powerful work-based learning opportunities, including internships, apprenticeships, job shadows, career workshops, and visits to actual job sites. Many of those at the sponsors here tonight, so thank you very much. Through this firsthand, behind-the-scenes look at careers in our community, coupled with exposure to various post-secondary education and training opportunities, students learn about attainable personal career pathways they never knew were possible. At this time, I'd like to introduce two students, Akira Davis and Dontavius Hopkins, who have participated in career pathways to share with you their stories.
Good evening, CMS teachers and community members. My name is Akira Davis, and I'm a senior at Harding University High School.
Hello, I'm Dontavius Hopkins, and I'm a senior at Advanced High School. Give me one sec. Okay. During my sophomore year at Advanced High School, I attended CPCC Advanced Manufacturing Program. It was on this trip that I met Ms. V, my career pathway advisor. Since that trip 2 years ago, Ms. V and the Career Pathway Program have exposed me to many different programs and work-based learning experiences. Last year, I attended the Innovation Fair at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I was able to attend seminars on actual projects, which was a great experience for me. Another trip that I attended was UNCC Senior Design Expo 2 years ago. Going on that trip gave me so much to look forward to when I go to college. I really enjoyed seeing all the seniors' engineering designs, and it was amazing what minds can come up with. This year has been a very chaotic year for me, but Ms. V has helped me through everything, whether it was proofreading my essays, writing a letter of recommendations, or just making me smile when I was having a bad day. Because of the Career Pathway Program, I have been exposed to many different things that my peers may have not. And it's because of this program that I will be the first person in my family to go to college. I feel more prepared for North Carolina A&T State University, where I plan to major in computer science. Thank you. Aggie pride.
Hello again. I met Mrs. Strada my junior year at Harding University High School. I was looking for an opportunity to participate in an internship, and she informed me about a competitive paid internship opportunity through Livingston and Haven. She helped me prepare for my internship by providing me with the job description of the internship, conducting a mock interview, and ensuring that I was professionally dressed. I applied for and was selected to participate in the marketing internship in the spring of my junior year. During this internship, I learned how to behave professionally and collaboratively in an office environment and valuable graphic design and marketing skills. Participating in an internship my junior year helped prepare me for the opportunity which I am currently participating in, a marketing internship at a local fashion boutique run by female entrepreneurs. In this internship, I am able to independently come up with creative marketing ideas and follow through with these ideas. Thanks to my career pathways advisor, Mrs. Strada, I was introduced to 2 careers in marketing in 2 very different industries, engineering and fashion. I feel more confident about what the future holds and know what my next steps are. I plan to attend Winthrop University and major in integrated marketing communication and minor in professional business. Thank you, Mrs. Strada, for introducing me to my career pathway.
Weren't they fantastic? At this time, I'd like to introduce and welcome my fellow board member, Natalie English, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the other programs we have at MeckEd. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Natalie English, and I'm immediate past chair of the board of MeckEd. And I was reflecting shortly ago that I had to miss this event last year because I had stepped in a hole and broke my ankle. So I'm really glad to be able to celebrate with all these awesome teachers. So thank you for all that you do. Strong public schools are extremely important to the economic health of our community. The Charlotte Chamber, all our members, are invested in that organization because we have great schools. People come to this community to add jobs, to work, to live, because we have great public schools. Being proactive now by mobilizing leadership, rallying resources, and engaging the community will keep our schools strong for the next generation. That's why it's MeckEd's mission to inform the community about the critical issues facing public education and empower all of us to advocate on behalf of our public schools. Tonight, I'd like to challenge you, everybody in this room, to be a champion for excellent public schools for all children. There are several ways you can do that. You can sign up for MeckEd's e-newsletter so you can stay current on all the critical issues facing public schools. You can go home tonight or go to the office tomorrow and download our advocacy toolkit, which will educate you on the issues and also give you the path and the tools for how you can impact those issues going forward. You can attend our community conversation next week on this day, next Wednesday morning, and talk about the teachers and the pipeline and how are we going to make sure that we continue to attract, as Ann said, and recruit teachers to our schools. And lastly, Bill mentioned it a few minutes ago, you can pay attention over the next several weeks as the House is debating their version of a budget tonight and tomorrow. And that's where the public schools are funded, is mostly in the state budget. You can call your legislators tonight, leave them a message, because they'll vote tonight, but they'll vote again tomorrow. Next week, when the county manager brings out her proposed budget for the county commission, let the county commission members know what you think of that budget. It's important. They need to hear from all of us. That's how we make things better. MeckEd serves as the only independent local education organization that provides relevant and objective information to parents, teachers, school leaders, civic and faith-based organizations, community leaders, businesses, and other stakeholders. Together, we will ensure every student graduates high school prepared to contribute to a robust economy in Mecklenburg County. Now I'm going to go off script a little bit, and there's one person in the audience who's going to get really nervous about this, so hang with me. It's an important message. In fact, he didn't want us to deliver this message tonight, but we felt like tonight of all nights was exactly the time to do this. We are sad that our executive director is moving on, but we are thrilled that he's going to do what we know is closest to his heart, and that is empowering people to be teachers and to be leaders in our school system. So we're excited for him. Again, we're really, really sad, but we thought that tonight, as we honor you teachers, it was the right time to say, Bill, thank you so very much, and we'd like for you to come up so that I can present something to you. Help me again thank Bill. Now I get to introduce one of my great friends. Actually, there's a lot of you in the room, so don't be offended by that statement. But MeckEd is very grateful to have the support of the YMCA of Greater Charlotte. So please join me in welcoming Michael Duvall, Senior Vice President of Organizational Advancement, and my neighbor, who will bring greetings on behalf of the Y.
Hey, good evening. So let me say a couple things. First of all, I want to talk to you as a parent. I've got two boys. One, 22, just graduated from the University of Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. Went to Mallard Creek High School and a variety of other public schools. And my youngest, who has completed his freshman year at University of Alabama. And I told this story Tuesday. I want to tell it quickly today because while our teachers are our secret sauce and our most valuable asset in education, I want to talk to you a little bit about what schools do for children also. So my son, on my way back from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, we're driving 7 hours. The first half hour, I asked him a question. Tell me how the first year was. And he goes into, so this is a son who had a little bit of trouble in 6th grade. Teachers had to kind of dig into him a little bit. Finished with a 3.91 his first semester. Never had one in his entire life, right? This is where he peaked. So he was going to tell me a little bit about school. I said, I don't want to talk about school. Tell me what you learned. So he said, you know what I learned is the school that I was at was 70% minority, 43% free and reduced lunch. It was a privilege to attend the school because I now know in college everybody doesn't get that privilege, right? So, I mean, this is also what our teachers do is they teach this power of privilege. And I think we need to give them a round of applause as we continue to go through because I think it's just not education that they're teaching huge, important life skills. So as a parent, thank you. That's a good clapping point, yeah. So on with the work. A couple things. One is some of you know us, obviously, for 21 locations that we have. We're in 4 counties, and you know our buildings, but a lot of you may not know that we're also in the Achievement Gap work, and we're in it in a big way. Over the last 3 years, we've built up essentially 1,100 children where we are doing rigor activity from reading to career and college readiness. Now, some would say, wow, that's really important. 39 schools in the CMS market. And education is really where we got our founding. We've got a nationally recognized reading program that is now in 35 plus cities, be 3,000 kids this summer that started here in Charlotte. So we are deeply invested because we believe that you can't do a middle income product in tough communities. We need rigor and we need access for more kids. So now the most important tonight, and before I do this, I think, I don't know if Molly Griffin and Robert Griffin are in the room. But if Molly, because this is really their idea, 3 years ago they asked us to do this, and we're proud to partner with MeckEd, not just for tonight, but we do a lot of legislative activity. We open up our branches so that you can hear and learn, and we'll continue to do that. And thank you very much to Bill Anderson for the partner that you've been over the years. So tonight, Jennifer Kershaw, because I met you, no. It's also because I met you, who is at our table, our wonderful teacher. Tonight, we are also pleased because we believe so much in teachers that the YMCA will be awarding each of the winners tonight 6-month memberships to your Y location, whatever that is. So we will give you a 6-month. If you have a membership, we'll figure it out. But you get a 6-month membership. Our Y's access is you get wherever you are. You have access wherever you go. So thank you. That's a good clapping point. So the reason we're pleased to announce this is because we know that particularly as it relates to getting into summer, some of you need to decompress, and your families need to decompress because you may not have spent as much time with them. So what we would like you to do is to use this membership, 6 months, use it over the summer, and essentially invest in yourself. Because I think the most important thing that you can do over the summer is to invest in your time, right? You need your own oxygen too in order to make sure that you're recharged and ready for the next school year. So we're pleased again to bring you health and services to those of you and your families. And thank you again, MeckEd, to this wonderful honor.
Thanks very much, Mike. A 6-month membership is pretty impressive. We want to thank the Y for all they do for our folks. I believe that wellness is really important, and many of our teachers work very hard and don't find the time to work out. We hope that you'll find that time going forward. We have a special guest that's with us this evening, but before I introduce our special guest, I'd like to take just a moment to recognize all the other teachers and the other school administrators that are with us tonight. If you're a teacher, not one of the 20 being recognized tonight, but if you're a teacher and a principal, would you please stand? Thank you very much for all that you do each and every day for our students, families, and our communities. All right, a little bit about our speaker. Camille Adams is an Olympic swimmer who lives here in Charlotte and trains with Swim Mac Carolina. She began swimming at age 4 and has developed into one of the fastest butterflyers in the world. She placed 5th in the 200-meter butterfly at the 2012 Olympics, not too shabby. And she went on to win that event in 2013 and 14 at the U.S. National Championships, in 2014 at the Pan Pacific Championships. She's expected to be a medal contender at next year's Olympics in Rio. And on top of all that, Camille graduated from Texas A&M with a degree in education. So she knows firsthand the importance of excellent teachers. Please join me in offering a very warm welcome at this time to Camille Adams. Camille?
Thanks so much for having me, y'all. So like he said, I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I grew up in the public school system, like you guys were talking about earlier, and went on to graduate from Texas A&M. I finished school in December, and throughout my college career, I always knew that swimming was kind of something I was good at, and so I wanted to see what that could develop postgraduate. So the past 2 summers, I've gotten the privilege to move to Charlotte and train under David Marsh with Swim Mac Carolina and be a part of the Charlotte family here. And I've absolutely fallen in love with Charlotte and the people. So I've made the permanent move, well, permanent, I say until Rio, here to Charlotte. For me, that's a long time to be away from home. So have moved here permanently in January, and I'm just training with David Marsh and the rest of the crew there for the Rio Games. So obviously, I'm an education major. Middle grades was my main specialty, and I am history and English. And so looking back into my education career, I started thinking, why did I want to be a teacher? What got me involved? So my dad was a special ed teacher, and so that's really kind of where my heart lies. People now make fun of me when I stop at airports and talk to little kids or whatever. People are like, Camille, you're kid obsessed. And I'm like, yeah, but I was an education major, so what do you expect? So growing up, always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. I definitely got it from my dad, but it wasn't until my freshman year of college when I really knew that there was just something different about teachers, just something different about their personalities, just their outlook on life. And it was because of a woman by the name of Cindy Betcher. She was one of my professors at Texas A&M, and I got the privilege of being involved in a learning community with her my freshman all the way through my senior year. She kind of adopted me, and my freshman year, she would, I came in like big eyes. We had an 8 a.m. class on Tuesday, Thursday. And might I add, Tuesday, Thursday were the only mornings I got to sleep in. We didn't have practice those mornings. And so 8 a.m., I was like, for real? This is going to be terrible. And she made us dress up every single day. You couldn't even wear pants. The women had to be in a dress and heels. I was like, this is going to be the longest semester of my entire life. But it actually ended up being my favorite semester of college. Every day, once she found out that I was a swimmer, she would come to all the meets and cheer really loud, and kind of ended up being more my life coach, not just my professor. And from the beginning of freshman year, she's like, you're going to make the Olympics. You're going to make the Olympics. I was like, Dr. B, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just had shoulder surgery right before I got to college. I'm just trying to graduate. I'm just trying to pass classes, finish freshman year, take one day at a time. She was like, no. Like, you have much bigger things. God has much bigger plans for you. And from the very beginning, I thought she was absolutely crazy. But whenever I stood on that podium after I made the Olympics, I knew she was a big reason about why I was there and how I got there. So definitely after sophomore year, after I made the Olympic team, I went back to her and told her that she was the reason that I wanted to become an educator. She was the reason that I want to sit at these same tables that you guys are at and just inspire young faces, inspire young children. So that's what I'm doing now, just through a little bit different avenue. Try to do it in the water as best as I can. And I love teaching swim lessons and just kind of giving back to the community in that way. So if you ever need somebody, I'm always around, and there's plenty of us that are willing to give some lessons. We absolutely love doing it and love being a part of Charlotte. So thank you so much for having me and making Charlotte my new home. Thanks, and gig 'em.
Now it's time for the best part of the program, and that's the presentation awards. We have asked each CMS principal to nominate a teacher who embodies excellence, academic achievement, and leadership in their schools. The selection committee then took all the nominations, and let me tell you, there were many nominations, We evaluated the teacher on their achievement in the classroom, their contributions to the profession, and their leadership within each school. But it was a very difficult job to narrow it down to 20 teachers only. All of our 20 honorees are smart, compassionate, driven educators who make their schools and the broader Charlotte-Mecklenburg community a better place, for sure. Now it's time to begin the awards. We'll move in random order, and we'll show a brief video about each honoree. Our first honoree is Courtney Frank.
Courtney Frank is an 8th grade math teacher at Carmel Middle School, where she chairs the math department. She integrates blended learning strategies to personalize learning for her students. On top of a demanding schedule, Courtney volunteered to teach a 7th grade honors class during a teacher vacancy. In the classroom, Courtney's students excel, and she boasts a 100% EOC pass rate. Her principal says everyone at Carmel counts on Courtney for her professionalism, leadership, and compassion toward all students.
And our next honoree is Francois Hill.
Francois Hill teaches exceptional children in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades at Tuckasegee Elementary School. He volunteered to teach a group of 8 self-contained boys, noting their need for positive intervention and relationship building. Teaching from both the head and the heart, Francois approaches the challenges related to providing special services with enthusiasm and honor. His classroom goals include intellectual development, but also emotional stability. His actions and words cultivate the very best in each child.
Our third teacher of excellence is Kristen Hager.
As a 2nd grade teacher at Matthews Elementary School, Kristen Hager consistently goes beyond her job requirements to ensure every child receives an outstanding education. She shows compassion for students with a variety of needs and talents and continually strives to find new ways to reach her 2nd graders. One parent called Kristen a gift to their family because of the impact she had on their child's life. Kristen truly embodies the qualities every parent wants in their child's teacher.
Our fourth teacher of excellence is Carmen Lee.
Carmen Lee is a teacher at Huntersville Elementary School who makes learning fun and exciting for the students in her 5th grade class. She's an enthusiastic educator who poses high-level questions that she expects her students to answer. Carmen graduated from Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools herself and is a proud product of Hopewell High School. She has a deep commitment to growing students academically, and she regularly incorporates technology into her lesson plans. Her principal says it's a real treat to watch Carmen at work in the classroom.
Our fifth teacher of excellence is Marcia Grady.
Now in her 36th year as an educator, Marcia Grady is a 1st grade teacher at Beverly Woods Elementary School. She serves as a role model for the school's staff who appreciate Marcia's quiet presence and dedicated service. Her instruction is top-notch, driven by her close attention to every student's needs. Her principal says Marcia is the teacher students remember long after they leave elementary school, and it's not uncommon for college students to drop by and thank her for the impact she had on their lives as children.
In addition to the 6-month family memberships to the YMCA that Mike Duvall announced just a few minutes ago, we have a few other items donated from generous members of our community. And I would like to remind all of our teachers of excellence to not forget to collect your gift bag outside the ballroom at the end of the evening. Each teacher will receive in their gift bag 1 year of free access to Intelliseeds.com, an online academic enrichment company that helps students enhance math and language arts skills. Additionally, you will have access to create a free account for every student in your class, and this gift is valued at $100. Also in your gift bag will be 2 lower-level tickets to a Charlotte Hornets home game during the 2015-16 season. I hope you heard lower level. And you will also receive an $80 gift card to Target. So I'd like to remind everybody else, those gift bags outside are for the teachers of excellence. They're not for the rest of us. On top of that, we will have a few other drawings throughout the night. And why don't we get started right now? When I call your name, please stand but remain at your seat, and one of our MeckEd staff members will bring your prize over to you. Okay, first of all, we're going to draw 8 names to each win a set of 4 tickets to a Charlotte's night game in June, donated to us very generously by Piedmont Natural Gas. So again, when your name is called, stand by your seat and someone will bring you your tickets to the game. First up, Courtney Frank. Drew Hamill. Marcia Grady. Jennifer Kershaw. Courtney Kowalski. April Isbell. And Meredith Barton Metzger. For our next drawing, we have the opportunity to award one of our teachers a scholarship for a free course at Northeastern University Charlotte, donated by Northeastern University Charlotte. Northeastern's Master's and Doctor of Education program explore critical issues facing educators in technology, distance learning, globalization, creative and critical thinking, assessments, and learning. Tonight, we would like to assist a lucky winner in jump-starting the next step in their education by offering this free course through Northeastern University here in Charlotte. And our winner is Sarah Lack. Our next drawing is for an opportunity to participate in an exciting learning seminar with the Center for Intentional Leadership. The Center for Intentional Leadership course is designed to develop and expand leadership capacity to equip individuals to lead with vision, influence, and accountability, and to inspire others to do the same. This course was donated by the Center for Intentional Leadership and is valued at $2,500. And the winner is Chelsea Harley. Okay, we also have now 2 sets of 4 tickets to the Charlotte Knights in August, and these were donated by Snyder's Lance. So the winners are Madison Hipp, and Francois Hill. Before switching gears, I wanted to take just a moment to note that we have several past teachers of excellence in the room with us tonight, alums. Let me extend my my deepest gratitude to all of you to continue doing what you do each and every day, working to impact the lives of the students in our classroom. I have your names as well, and you will be the winner of this will be a recipient of a $100 Visa card that was donated by the AI Group. The AI Group is a design group of college professionals. So at this time, let me give that out. The winner is Rosalind Henson. Rosalind? Rosalind's not here? Well, let's give it to the next person. A very deserving fellow, I might add, a magnificent teacher of mathematics at Eastway Middle School, Greg Gabriel. Greg? Now we will continue with our awards. Our next Teachers of Excellence are Crystal Irvin.
8th grade language arts teacher Crystal Irvin is a problem solver and innovator at Crestdale Middle School. She has the ability to create a rigorous learning environment where her students feel safe and respected. Crystal leads school-wide initiatives that benefit all teachers. She regularly stays after school to help her students with homework and extracurricular activities. Crystal also serves as the advisor for Crestdale's National Academic League Club, which includes some of the school's highest performing students.
And now for our 7th Teacher of Excellence, Madison Hipp.
When Madison Hipp completed her student teaching at Hopewell High School last year, the school's principal knew it would be a mistake to let her get away. Now, a social studies teacher, Madison connects to all of her students in a meaningful way. She's fearless in her attempts to design instruction that's engaging and personal. Madison's principal says that even as a young teacher, she's the model of self-reflection, always looking for ways to have an even bigger impact on her students' lives.
Our next Teacher of Excellence is Sarah Lack.
Sarah Lack teaches 7th grade math at Mint Hill Middle School. She serves as the 7th grade math team leader and has done an excellent job in helping new teammates settle into the school. Her own students consistently have the highest growth at Mint Hill Middle. Sarah has been instrumental in the school's work to be more collaborative and to use data to increase student learning. Her principal says Sarah is an outstanding role model for every teacher in every classroom.
And our 9th Teacher of Excellence is Chris Wazani. Chris?
As an 8th grade social studies teacher at Bailey Middle School, Chris Wazani has chosen to go green by turning his classroom into a digital environment. He also collaborates with other teachers to incorporate reading strategies into their weekly lesson plans. Chris uses novel studies to reinforce topics discussed in his curriculum. He's a leader outside of the classroom too. Chris coaches Bailey's track team, supports the student leadership ambassadors, and coordinates the annual 8th grade class trip.
And our 10th Teacher of Excellence this year is Chelsea Harley. Chelsea?
As a 5th grade math teacher at Berry Hill School, Chelsea Harley is a leader in her classroom and for her peers. Her growth scores are exceptional, and she collaborates with other math teachers to share her expertise. Chelsea's classroom is a model for innovative math strategies. Her principal says Chelsea is committed to taking ownership of all children at Berry Hill, not just the students in her 5th grade class, and she regularly checks in on them even after they've moved on to middle school.
Okay, it's time to move on to some more exciting drawings. Our next gift is we have 3 sets of free admission passes to the North Carolina Zoo in Asheboro, also donated by Piedmont Natural Gas. And if you have never been to the zoo in Asheboro, it is wonderful. So thanks to Nicholas Orlandi and Piedmont Natural Gas for making this happen. And our winners are, and again, just stand up and we'll bring the gift to you. Chris Wazani. Something tells me you'll like that. He seems like a really fun guy. Our next winner for the tickets to the zoo are Sarita Gonzalez. And the last winner here is Ursula Harris. Next, we have 3 $50 gift cards to Target that have been donated by several MeckEd board members. And at this time, we'll draw these 3. Kristen Hager. Coretta Wilson. Over here. And our last winner for the Target gift card is Carmen Lee. I think I went off script, guys. Sorry about that. Number 11, okay. Thank you, Adam. It's always good to have good people that help you out. Thank you very much, Adam Rue. Number 11, our 11th Teacher of Excellence tonight is Elisa Wright Yasurik. Elisa?
Elisa Wright Yasurik teaches 8th grade English Language Arts at South Charlotte Middle School, where she was named Teacher of the Year in 2009. Her classes are lively and engaging as students extend their love of reading and writing. Elisa's expertise has been honored by CMS, the state, as well as national groups. She serves as an evaluator for Harvard's Best Foot Forward project, and she's a mentor for teachers at South Charlotte and across the district.
Our 12th Teacher of Excellence is Ursula Harris.
Idlewild Elementary's principal says 4th grade math and science teacher Ursula Harris is an irreplaceable member of the school's team. Her ability to build genuine relationships with students and their families is exceptional. She uses student performance data to inform her teaching, and her students track their own data to ensure success. Her proficiency and growth scores, particularly for at-risk students, are outstanding. From the moment you enter Ursula's classroom, the positive energy is abundant, and it's clear she's a teacher of excellence.
I'm not sure if you noticed this, but when we show the pictures of the classrooms all appear to be so engaging. They're encouraging. There's lots of stuff on the walls, and that takes a lot of work. So I ask you to continue looking at those things, because that tells a lot about how inviting the classroom is. And it's safe to say that so many of our teachers here are very open and engaging, and their students love coming to their class. And I bet a lot of them are very high energy too. Our next teacher of excellence is Courtney Kowalski. Courtney.
Courtney Kowalski is a first grade teacher at Windsor Park Elementary School. She's a problem solver and an outstanding communicator, eager to engage with colleagues, parents, and students. She finds a way to connect with each student and consistently incorporates reading, writing, speaking, and listening into her lessons. Courtney also serves as the faculty representative, communicating with school administration about issues that matter to her peers. She's a natural leader, making a difference for everyone at Windsor Park.
Our next teacher of excellence is April Isbell. April?
April Isbell teaches English 2 at East Mecklenburg High School. She demands the utmost respect and holds students accountable for meeting her high standards. April has established a climate where students continually reflect on their own learning and support their peers as they work to achieve their goals. Her principal says April is an unsung hero who reaches the most unreachable students, all while embodying the idea that leadership is action and not position.
Our 15th teacher of excellence is Meredith Barton Metzger. Meredith?
Meredith Barton Metzger is a leader at Albemarle Road Middle School, where she's an 8th grade science teacher. Her lessons are fresh, technology-rich, innovative, and accessible, and they played a big role in Albemarle Road's success in science last year. CMS used Meredith as a model for effective classroom web design, and her tools have helped to support science teachers in other school districts as well. Her principal says Meredith is a teacher leader, an innovator, and the epitome of a lifelong learner.
All right, it's time to move on to some more drawings. Let's move on to another round, and first up is going to be a $50 Amazon gift card and a $50 gift card to Harris Teeter. And the two lucky winners are Elisa Wright Yasurik and Crystal Irvin. Crystal. We've already gone through everybody. Everybody except one person has already received some prizes, so we've got to throw these back in. Next up, though, we have 4 vouchers for Charlotte's Knights games, and this is to a game of your choosing during the 2015 regular season. These are also donated by Design Group Incorporated. Our first winner here is Laurie Thurston. Laurie? Our next winner for 4 tickets is Drew Hamill. Drew? Next is Elisa Wright Yasurik. And last, Meredith Barton Metzger. Okay, now we're getting to the biggies. Here we go. Next, we have another $100 Visa gift card, also donated by AI Design Group. Thank you, Wes Jones. And the winner is Courtney Frank. This next one's also a really nice one. We have an overnight stay at the Hilton Charlotte Center City. And we'd like to thank the Hilton for this very generous donation. But since you have school tomorrow, you probably don't want to use it tonight. Our winner is Marcia Grady. Now, for our final drawings, that's plural, our final drawings of the evening, and there are actually 5 of these, I'm going to ask Howard Garby with American Airlines to come up to the stage and help me draw 5 names. Do you want to say them or do you want me to? Okay, you pick them, 5. And then you can say something if you like. Our first winner for an American Airlines voucher is Courtney Kowalski. Next is Crystal Irvin. Our third winner is Chelsea Harley. Fourth is Kristen Hager. And our last winner for the American Airlines is Sarita Gonzalez. You can say something if you like. Thank you very much. We will continue with our last group of award winners tonight, and they begin with Lori Thurston. Lori?
Lori Thurston is a 28-year veteran of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, now serving as a 3rd grade literacy teacher at McKee Elementary School. She approaches each lesson with enthusiasm that students can feel whenever they walk into her classroom. Lori makes sure that school is challenging, rigorous, and relevant. She pushes her students to think critically and at higher levels every single day. Lori is an engaged and collaborative colleague who's always willing to share her knowledge with other teachers at McKee Road.
Our next teacher of excellence is Sarita Gonzalez.
Sarita Gonzalez teaches 7th grade math at J.M. Alexander Middle School, where her principal says she's the embodiment of the master teacher. Her lessons incorporate authentic learning, critical thinking, and higher order questions that get students to think about their lives. Even the most reluctant students become focused and take ownership of their education. The academic growth of her students, from exceptional children to honors classes, is testament to the breadth of her instructional expertise and dexterity.
Our next teacher of excellence is Drew Hamill. Drew?
Drew Hamill is a highly experienced social studies teacher at Philip O'Berry Academy. He consistently plans lessons that address a wide range of learning styles, and his student growth scores are outstanding. His principal says Drew's classroom is a welcoming and friendly space that demonstrates a love of history and social studies. In addition to teaching, he's pursuing administrative licensure and is a natural leader in the school. Drew has an excellent rapport with his students who appreciate his passion for teaching.
Our 19th teacher of excellence is Jennifer Kershaw. Jennifer?
Jennifer Kershaw is a 4th grade math teacher at Grand Oak Elementary School. She's a strong grade-level chair who leads with finesse, listens to her teammates, and builds partnerships. This year, Jennifer implemented personalized learning in her math class using technology and giving students an active role in their education. She shared her expertise at UNC Charlotte and is a trusted resource for other teachers. Her positive can-do attitude has made her a go-to resource at Grand Oak.
And last but not least, MeckEd Teacher of Excellence is Coretta Wilson. Coretta?
Our final teacher of excellence is Coretta Wilson, a 7th grade language arts teacher at Alexander Graham Middle School. Her energy and charisma is on display every day, reflected in her students' engagement and work products. Coretta requested a class of highly challenging, historically low-performing male students. She calls this group her Young Gentlemen and has developed partnerships with CMPD and CMS to provide mentoring, field trips, and support services for them. Coretta never gives in and never gives up on any child.
In order to help me make a special presentation, I'd like to ask Board Chair Richard Nichols to step forward at this time. Richard?
Good evening. I have an honor now to present Coretta with another award. It's called the Paul Jackson Award, and it's named in his memory. He was an outstanding educator, and he always went beyond the call of duty, as most teachers do, all teachers do. He was a teacher that every principal wanted in his school and every parent wanted for their child. He went out of his way to make sure every student felt special and important. He recognized the critical role that teachers play in influencing children to do their best. Paul was sadly diagnosed with cancer back in 2005. And even while he battled his illness, he put his students' needs above his own, delaying his treatment in order to be strong enough to direct the all-district band. Sadly, Paul lost his fight with cancer in 2012 at the age of 40, but his spirit lives on in this award. And this award is given to a member of the MeckEd Teachers of Excellence class who exemplifies Paul's dedication to his students. This year, we are thrilled to present that award to Coretta Wilson. Congratulations. Now, I could stand here and tell you quite a few things about Coretta, but we just met. We just met. So, we've asked Robert Folk, her principal, and some special guests to come in and talk to you about Coretta. Please welcome Robert Folk and the kids.
I'm going to let the young people talk, but I want you to know that we're all in the business of planting seeds, and I would say congratulations to all of our MeckEd Teachers of Excellence. This happens to be mine, so I'm very proud of her and very proud of my young men here that could come today. Coretta puts an incredible amount of energy and time into her classes, and she works with all children at the same level of expectation, and I wish I could have brought all of her kids here today. I couldn't do that. I asked. But 3 did come, and I don't know if they'll speak to you or not, but I want them to at least say a word or two about what makes Coretta such an impressive and incredible teacher and why she has not given up on them this year.
Your name is? Still a work in progress.
My name is Cario Walker.
12.
Was listening. Yeah, she is the best teacher in the world. I swear to God.
My name is Jacoby Thompson. I'm going to say is she never gives up on us.
My name is Marsha Simmons. How are y'all doing today? All I want to say is the best teacher on the world, Ms. Wilson. Love you.
Give another round of applause. Congratulations. But don't go anywhere. I got another surprise. So I believe your husband has already packed your bag, and Principal Folk has excused you from your morning classes because you will be staying here tonight. Congratulations.
Smile for the camera, Lynn.
Bob Folk, family from AG, thank you all very much. That embodies what great teaching is all about. It's all about connecting with students, it's engaging with students, it's getting them to believe in you, that you'll never give up. And that's why we're so fortunate to have so many great teachers in our district, and tonight we're able to honor 20 of the best and the brightest. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, and again, those individuals and companies who made their teachers' night tonight by providing numerous drawings. That's always a lot of fun. I'd also like to take just a minute to thank the MeckEd staff, and I ask them to please stand. Aaron Edwards, our Director of Development. Adam Rue, our Director of Communications and Public Policy. Shayna Phillips, our Office Manager. Melissa Varela, Ariel Corbett, Jennifer Geyer, and Giovanna Estrada, our Career Pathways Advisors. If you could stand also. And one more bit of business, all the Teachers of Excellence, I'm supposed to remind you that after this ends, that outside we want to take a picture with all of you. But I'd like to take just a minute to let everyone in here know that MeckEd is in very good hands. We have a very strong staff. The advocacy role that MeckEd plays in our community is extremely important. The career pathways work that we're doing we feel is also extremely important. But tonight, I want to just leave us with a couple of final thoughts. Ann Clark basically talked about this early this evening, and that is that we are the people who have the power, and we have to get out there and support our teachers and the profession of teaching. The profession of teaching has been dinged a bit in the past couple of years, but it's on us to make a difference. I'm convinced that public education is the cornerstone of our democracy. And without great schools, how are we going to prepare the workforce for the future? Or how are we going to prepare our future generations? It's incredibly important and upon us. We talked about tonight that we were going to celebrate and we were going to recognize, but we wanted to leave you with an awareness. And then I'm asking all of you to leave here tonight being ambassadors for teachers. Yeah, you know some really great teachers in here, but there are a lot of great teachers in our community and in our state. And we need to tell people who are the decision makers that they do matter. The reality is we're losing a lot of our veteran teachers. The reality is we don't have as many of young people that we would like going into the teaching profession. The reality is when I was a principal, we used to be able to go out of this state and recruit like heck. People from Ohio and New York and Pennsylvania. There we have one right here. But that's more difficult today, and I don't want to dwell on the negative because this is a positive night. But Ann mentioned something earlier that I want to stick with all of us. How many times when you hear somebody say, oh, my daughter's thinking about being a teacher, I'm thinking about being a teacher, that somebody goes, really? Oh, you're going to do that for that little bit of money? and not get the respect you earn. Let's turn that story. There is no profession more important. There is no profession that matters more to all of us. Let's not fall into that trap of negativity. Let's be positive. Let's reach out for teachers. Let's support teachers. Let's support public education. We have a dynamite new superintendent in Ann Clark. I'm so pleased that you're with us. And I just want to ask you again to go out and fight the good fight. Thank you very much and good night.